And now to Texas, where a school district just outside Houston is trying to win approval from taxpayers to build a massive $70 million high school football stadium. On November 5th, the Katy Independent School District will hold an election, asking taxpayers to approve a $99 million bond that includes the new football stadium. You can see the designs right here. This bond also included $25 million for a new agricultural center and $4.5 million for a new science, technology, engineering, and math center. And that has many voters angry, since they approve of the new agricultural and math and science center, but they don't approve of the new football stadium. Cindy Lawrence, president of an anti-tax group known as Katy Libertia, said, quote, "They are coming at us with a $99 million bond that is all or nothing. Some of us support the STEM center and the agricultural facilities, but we feel that $69 million is way outlandish for a football stadium." The school district is responding by saying the second football stadium would provide more opportunities for the community. Now, this story is repeated again and again all over the country, and the world for that matter, as cities beholden to their professional sports teams convince taxpayers to foot the bill for expensive new stadiums that in the long run benefit a few wealthy investors. So do sports have an undue influence on our schools and where communities spend their money? Earlier, I spoke with Andrew Zimbalist. He's a Robert A. Woods Professor of Economics at Smith College. And I asked what justification there could possibly be for this new stadium.
From an economic point of view, it's not justifiable. From a cultural point of view, it's up to them. You know, the Quackioodles have potlatch. It's an exotic cultural ritual. People on the outside look at it and say it's nuts. The ancient Romans had gladiators. It was part of their culture. It had a cultural value to them. And I think you can look at these football monuments in a similar way. They don't pay off economically. If it's being financed by the county or the town or the state, then it might generate a few extra dollars for the high school, because I presume they'll charge more money for some of the tickets for some of the seats anyway. But it's not the sort of thing that a private individual would invest in, thinking that this is going to bring them a private rate of return. So as a cultural artifact, maybe it's justifiable. It's not for people from the outside to tell them what to do about their cultural values and their rituals. As an economic investment, it doesn't make any sense.
So, I mean, as part of this deal, the school district is asking taxpayers for a $99 million bond package, which includes about $30 million for upgrading school facilities, which a lot of the taxpayers support. But the school district won't separate the $30 million to upgrade facilities from the $70 million to build this sort of stadium. Does that speak to sort of the power that sports have in politics and local politics especially, that they can't divorce these two issues, and that we have to satisfy the sports needs in order to satisfy the education needs as well?
I think that you're hitting the nail on the head. 70% for sports, 30% for education. That sounds about right for the prominence of sports in our culture. It's not the way educators like myself wish the world worked, but it seems to be, particularly with football in states like Texas, it seems to be the way they work.
You see this at a professional level a lot, where you see a lot of cities going to their taxpayers to foot the bill for very costly professional sports stadiums. And in the end, who benefits from these stadiums? Is it really do the taxpayers get any benefit here?
No, they don't. There's an extensive literature on the construction of professional sports facilities, and it's unanimous that a stadium or an arena by itself, when it's publicly financed, does not pay off economically. It doesn't pay off budgetarily or fiscally for the public investment that's being made. Now, there are examples with some of these stadiums at the professional level where the owner of the team commits to putting $1 billion or $2 billion into auxiliary investments, residential investments and retail investments and theme activity investments surrounding the stadium. And in those cases where there's an extra commitment of funding, sometimes that they can work out, but then it's an entire project. It's not the stadium by itself or the arena by itself.
Andrew Zimbalist, economics professor, at Smith College. Thanks so much for joining me.
My pleasure.